Hi there, as promised I'm going to take you through a couple of the recipes that I am preparing in advance to take on picnics. This would also be an excellent idea to prepare school lunches in advance. And I had planned 3 different recipes. One I've already done, which was just bacon, egg and cheese English muffins, which I've already got in the freezer, and I simply fried the egg and bacon as you normally would and toasted the English muffins and put them all together and wrapped them up well and popped them in the freezer. And we've already tried them. Mind you, we've only tried them at home so far, heating them up in the microwave, so I'm not sure what they would taste like cold, but they've been excellent just heated up in the microwave. So maybe just a good idea for even for a quick breakfast or weekend breakfasts to have in advance, prepared in advance. So the other 2 recipes I'm doing today, I'm doing ham, pineapple and cheese pizza scrolls, and I'm doing homemade pasties. So I'm starting with the pizza scrolls, and let's get to it. I am tripling the recipe because that's what I tend to do. So I'm going to put in time and effort, I may as well make it work for me. So I am starting with 6 cups of self-raising flour. Obviously if you're doing just the one quantity, then you would just have 2 cups of self-raising flour. So, and it makes 12, so I'll be making 36. Okay. And to that, I'm going to add 270 grams of butter cut into cubes, something like cubes anyway. If you're just doing the one quantity, then you just want 90 grams of butter. And I'm just taking my rings off because I forgot it. So I'm going to pop the butter in and then just bring it all together with your fingertips until it resembles fine breadcrumbs. Okay, so that's resembling fine breadcrumbs. It's nice and buttery, so it's sort of coming together easily as well. It's lovely. Smells lovely too. It's butter and flour. Okay, so you want 2 cups of milk, or if you're making the one batch, you just want 2/3 of a cup of milk. Alright, and you just want to cut through that just with a bread and butter knife or whatever, a spatula will be fine. Cut through it until it comes together. Okay, now on this clean surface, I'm adding some flour. And just bringing the dough out onto that. and gently kneading it until it's nice and soft. Okay, now because I'm making 3 lots, I'm going to cut this into 3. Okay, so when it's kneaded, you then want to roll it out with your rolling pin until it's about 30 centimetres by about 40 centimetres. Okay, now the first thing you want to do with each batch is pop about 1/3 of a cup of pizza sauce on there, either one you've made yourself or one you've bought. This one has, oops, I'm getting it everywhere. This one has Italian herbs through it, so it's quite nice. And of course I'm guesstimating 1/3 of a cup. And just spread it not quite to the edges. In particular on one long end, keep a little bit more than 2 centimetres. Okay, and then when you've done that, pop a cup of cheddar cheese sprinkled over. And about 150 grams of coarsely chopped leg ham. Followed by a 225 gram can of pineapple pieces. And the brand that I got, they're quite big pieces, so I'm just going to break them in half. And you want them fairly well drained, so I've got them in a bowl with some chucks, or you could use paper towel or a clean tea towel. I think this is a very Australian way to have pizza with pineapple. Well, they call it Hawaiian, but I think is it Australian? Let me know. If you're not Australian, let me know if you've had pizza with pineapple.
Everyone else has egg.
Oh no, we don't do that.
That's so-called
Australian egg on pizza, disgusting. Okay, now if you want, you can pop a bit of milk here. I don't even. And then starting from the longest end that is closest to you, preferably, you may have your longest end there, and then you'll have to go that way. I've just rolled it this way though. Starting from one of your longest ends, you want to start rolling it nice and firmly together. until you get to that end that has the milk on it, or you can put the milk on now if you wanted to. Okay. And then all you need to do is have a baking tray with some baking paper on it. Cut this into about 12 pieces and lay it out. Okay, now something you can do, I'm going to cut this one into 13 because I'm doing 3 batches and one of them ended up a bit smaller than the other 2. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. That's the 13. Now I'm going to cut the rest into 12. So what you can do is you can just mark where you want to cut just to make it simple as simple gets. And then just gently cut down. I don't have a chopping board under this, so I'm going to be extra careful. Extra careful. Sweetie, can you please get Layla? And preferably Josephine as well. And there you have it, folks. So now all I have to do is pop it in a preheated oven that's on 210 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to have it in there for 25 to 30 minutes or until golden brown, and then we'll bring them out, see what they look like, and let them cool a bit. But simple, very simple. So if they're delicious, then this will be something that I'll definitely do for school lunches in advance sometimes. Okay, the pizza scrolls are done. They look amazing and they smell so good. So I'm going to pop them aside to cool and just show you what I'm doing next. Okay, now I'm making homemade pasties. So the light's not very good in here, but it's now sort of early evening, and so the first thing you do with the pasties is you lay out your short crust pastry. I have not made my own. I got store-bought, and so you can make your own if you want. And then the second thing you do, I'm doing a double batch. So you need 7 sheets of short crust pastry. I'm doing a double batch, so I'll probably use roughly 14 sheets. We'll see. And you need 750 grams of mince. I've got about 2 kilo, I'm just going to use it. You need 3 carrots, so I'm using 6 carrots because I'm doubling up. 3 potatoes, so I'm using about 6 potatoes. You need 3 onions, so I'm using about 6 of those as well. And you want to peel and grate those 3 things. Now I've left the carrot aside by itself, but the potato and the onion I have inside a tea towel, if you can see that, and I'm just going to bring the size of the tea towel up and show you there is heaps of extra moisture. I didn't put the carrots in because carrots don't really have heaps of moisture, but onion and potatoes certainly does, and you want to get rid of that. So just give it a good squeeze. There's heaps and heaps of moisture in there, so squeeze a lot of it out. Okay, to that I'm going to add mince, and the recipe calls for 750 grams. By the way, I've got the first recipe I got was from taste.com.au, and then this recipe here is from planningwithkids.com. Okay. So I'm just using, it's 2 kilo. So I'll have a little bit extra mince than the recipe calls for. That's fine as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I've got mince. And then you want to add tomato sauce. Now I'm doubling this recipe, keep in mind also. So 6 tablespoons of tomato sauce. So I'm going to add 12 tablespoons. Alright, so I'm going to add 12 tablespoons of tomato sauce. I haven't worked out what that is in cups. It's probably half a cup or something. And you also want 6 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. So that is 1.5 tablespoons. So I'm going to have 3 tablespoons because I'm doubling the recipe. So 1, 2, and 3. And then the other thing you want to add is chutney. You want half a cup of chutney, so I want 1 full cup of chutney. And did I go out and buy chutney? No, I didn't. So I've got a couple of open things. I've got tomato and cracked pepper relish and caramelized onion already open in my fridge. I'm going to use those up, and if I need a bit more, I've got some New York style hot dog relish. And they're all this brand, Beerenberg. And I don't know, that might be an Australian brand, but what I'm saying is if you don't have chutney, I mean there are so many different types of chutney anyway, you just want something like that, something with a bit of flavour, something that goes with your veggies and your mince and your pastry. Okay. So I want 1 whole cup. Now you want to mix it thoroughly. I have gloves on. I'm going to mix it with my hands. And now when I say tomato sauce, I don't mean tomato puree. I don't want to confuse people. I mean ketchup. So the tomato sauce I've used in here is the same as ketchup basically. Okay. Now you also want 2 eggs if you are doing a double batch as well. If you're just doing the 1 batch, you just want 1 egg, and whisk that up, and you're just going to use that on the top of the pastry. Oh, hello. Hello. You didn't like getting in your Jim Jams. Oh, poor Bobby. Poor Bobby had to get ready for bed. I love you so much, baby girl. Okay, so just whisk that up and pop it aside. Now, you'll have your piece of pastry, and what you want to do with that is create your shape. I'm going to make like the Cornish pasties, and I'm just going to make sort of, let's see what it looks like when it's quite small. That's going to be quite small, so we'll see. You can do whatever shapes you want. You can do a bunch of different shapes. Alright, that's like a baby pasty. I might make some bigger ones. Cut out whatever shape you want. So I think that's going to be a nice size. You just put a nice big heap of mixture in the middle. Right. And then just pull it up in the middle and pinch it. You can sort of pinch it together a bit, and that'll make it look pretty and also help it to stick really well. So that is sort of a regular sized pasty, and what I'm going to do then, and I don't have a pastry brush. So I'm just going to use my fingers. You just want to get some of that egg mixture that you've already whisked up and just put it on the center there. There we go. And pop that on a tray. Okay, so I have all the pasties on trays ready to go in the oven. And I ended up getting, I've just got a few funny shaped ones in the middle because I had some leftover pastry and leftover filling. I ended up with quite a few. So I think that's 20 there, and about 6, and then about 8. So I ended up with about 35, and a few funny ones, roughly. And I only had a tiny bit of leftover pastry that was sort of, I just threw it out because it was a bit grubby by the end of it all, but I was happy. I used pretty much almost all of 3 packets of 5 sheets, of 15 sheets, minus a few scraps. Okay, and that's with 2 kilo of mince and the veggies that I mentioned. So I'm about to pop them in the oven, and what you need to do is to put it in a preheated 200 degrees Celsius oven for 10 minutes. Then you reduce the temperature to 180 degrees Celsius and cook for a further 20 minutes or until the pastries have turned golden. So I'll bring you back when they're out of the oven and we'll have a little look-see. It's now 9:45 at night, and once again I've prepared dinner and that sort of thing at the same time as doing this sort of cook up, so that's the way I get it done. But it's not too late, so that's pretty good. I can just put them in the oven now and have a little bit of an evening. Alright, they're out of the oven and we've tried a bit, and Anthony absolutely loves it, and I think they're really nice as well. So I ended up putting them in the oven for an extra half an hour. Now, if you made your own pastry, it'd be even better. It's quite nice, flaky sort of pastry. And inside you have your meat, potato, carrot, and you can't really see the onion. That long strip there is potato, and then obviously the orange is carrot. But it's got the lovely flavour of the sort of chutney type things as well. Oh, I'm losing my tray. They look nice and shiny with the egg glaze on top too. I'm going to let these sit and cool down for a while. I might leave them just on the trays, to be honest, because transferring them to wire racks is going to be a bit of a hassle. So yeah, I'll just leave them out for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. They're very, very, very hot. And then I'll organise them for the freezer, and we'll have those available for lunches. So thanks for joining me on this big lunch and cook up. May have given you some ideas for picnic lunches or school lunches, and it just makes such a huge difference to have things ready and prepped in the freezer, ready to pull out, and just, you know, just makes it so much easier to just go about your day and not have to spend time every single day on this sort of thing.